Okay, hey guys, today for this tutorial I used a 5mm H hook and a sewing needle, also some scissors and and a measuring tape. I also used Caron Simply Soft, but you can use whatever medium worsted weight yarn you want to use. And so basically this is how I created the top. Now this is going to go kind of fast, and for my bust I divided that in half and got 16, divided 16 in half and got 8. 8 was too short, so I added 2 inches, which made it 10. Then I times 10 by 4, which is my stitch gauge, and that gave me 40. So I chained 40 for both of the front pieces. So it could be half of basically what my bust was. I don't know what yours will be. You'll have to try that and see what works for you, but I don't really have big boobs, so it was kind of easy for me to just figure it out. Now for the back portion of it, I used my waist measurement and I just divided that in half and got 13, and then I times 13 by 4, which was my stitch gauge, and then I got 52. So I just chained 52 and I crocheted all the way up with no increase or decrease. And that is how I got the back portion. Now if you have a big bust, then I would consider that you do your bust measurement instead of that. But anyway, I ended up leaving 14 stitches at the top to connect my shoulder pieces, and I slip stitched in between the middle of those, and I also left 14 stitches at the top of my front pieces. And for my sleeves I chained 24 because that's just how many chains fits around my wrist, and I increased on every 5th stitch. So I crocheted for 4 rows and then I increased on the 5th row. So I did that all the way up until I had enough rows that completed like 16 inches, which is how long my arm is. So basically you just should import all your measurements into something like this and see what you come up with, and hopefully it works out for you. So we're gonna go ahead and get into the video, and good luck guys. It's super easy, so just have confidence and it'll work. Alright, so I'm starting off and I'm chaining my 40 for my front pieces. Now depending on how you crochet or how your you like your shirts, if you want to decrease every row you can, but I didn't because it would be too revealing for me and it would decrease too fast. So basically I chained 2 and I'm going to I'm going to half double crochet. No, I'm going to double crochet into the 3rd chain from the hook, and then I'm going to double crochet all the way across. And I just speeded this up because everything that I'm telling you is super duper repetitive. Like it's literally the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. So I'm just speeding through things and I'm not showing certain things because I'm explaining it to you. So anyway, once you go all the way down with your double crochets, or you can use half double crochets if you want, but you'll probably have to do more rows. So yeah, you want to complete all of your rows until you have the amount that you started with, and I started with 40, but I think I ended up adding one. But anyway, so here's the chain, and then I chained 3. I'm gonna have to chain another one. So I chained 3 and then I just double crochet in the next chain, not the same one because I want to leave a gap for when I sew my sides together. So you just double crochet all the way across, and when you come to the end you want to leave 2 stitches and you want to double crochet 2 together. And that is how I'm decreasing in this pattern. You can skip chains if you want to, but I don't like doing that. So you just double crochet 2 together, and then I was chaining 2 and turning and then double crocheting into the next stitch and going across all the way to the end, and then I would chain 3 and come back and do the same thing that I just did. Like I said, you can decrease however you want, but that's how I chose to decrease because I made this shirt about 5 times and each time was so different. So this is just the method that I chose to show. So I'm just going to go all the way down this row like I said. And I don't know how much of this I'm going to show, but basically you get the idea. You just decrease every other row. and you're only decreasing on one side. So yeah, here's the end of the row, and that is the decrease side. So you chain 3 each time at the end of the row that you're not decreasing on, and you go back down towards the way that you're going to decrease, and you decrease those last 2 stitches together. So I'm fast forwarding again all the way to the end, I believe, to show you another decrease. And you guys, you should have so much patience when you make this shirt, because if you don't get it right the first time, don't feel bad. Like I told you, I made it 5 times, 5 different ways. So yeah, here you go. You double crochet your last 2 together, and then you start your next row of no decrease. You're just going across each stitch that you have left, and you do that. And when you do that for enough rows, you will see the decrease start to form, even if you don't see it right away. So right here, I'm kind of trying to stretch it and show you a little bit. And then when I come back, I'm going to have about 17 rows of decrease done already, because I wasn't going to show me decreasing every row. So yeah, this is how it looks so far. And from this point on, for the next, I think 9 rows, I decided to decrease every row. So on every side, that the decrease side, I'm going to decrease every row on that end. So right now I'm showing you the decrease going back towards the other way. So you go in the first chain, loop over, go in the second chain, and you do your double crochet together. And then you continue back down to the end, and then you chain 3. Like I told you, you go all the way back down to the end, and then you would chain 3, and then you would come back down the row and double crochet 2 more stitches together, because like I said, you're decreasing every row. And I did this because I wanted my top to cover enough of my boobs, but then not be too big at the top where my shoulder was going to be attached at. So yeah, this is just why I did mine like this. So basically, that's how it should look. And I kept doing this until I had 14 stitches left. And for each size up, I think you should move up more stitches. So maybe like a medium, you would do like 4 extra stitches if your stitch gauge is 4, like mine was. So yeah, you double crochet, decrease each row. You just keep decreasing each row until you have 14 stitches. And so like I said, if you were doing different sizes, you go up. So I would do like 18 stitches left for the next row, and then like 22, so and so forth, like that, if it fits your body. I don't know how you like your shirts looking, but that's how mine is. So basically, I'm counting to see how many stitches I would have to keep decreasing until I got to 14. So that's how many I would decrease, and this is 14 stitches. And that's about how thick I wanted my strap to be. So yeah, now here it is when I have 14 stitches left, because I kept decreasing for those 9 rows until I got there. And then I added about 2 rows of that I didn't really show. Now I'm tying it off. You can make it however long you want, but I just did a couple of extra rows of the 14 stitches across. And this is how my side looks so far. You can see how the decrease was, and it looked pretty nice. I could have did a little bit steeper decrease, but I was fine with that because I figured it would shrink once I washed it. So yeah, that is the front, and basically here is the sleeve. Now the sleeve, like I told you, I was increasing every 5th stitch. So I started with the row, just a single foundation row, and then I started my double crochet rows, and I would crochet 4 rows and increase on the 5th row. This is all up to you on how you do it. So I chained 24 because that's how much fits around my my wrist, and this is a size extra small to a small, to let you guys know, because I didn't say that earlier. So this is an extra small to a small, and it has a, you know, a tight fit, as you can see. So I chain my 24, and then I have double crocheted across, and then now I'm just going to double crochet across those 24 stitches, and I'm going to do that for, of course, 4 rows, because I'm increasing every 5th row. So yeah, basically that's just what you do. And when I come back, just like magic, I will have 4 rows done. Watch. So yeah, after your 4 rows, basically I just double crocheted in that first stitch, which created an increase for me, and then I double crocheted across the next 24 rows, well, 23 stitches, I mean. And then I added another double crochet to the last double crochet. So you're adding a double crochet increase to the first and last stitches. See, that is the increase right there. So you can see that it is 2 extra stitches added. So it should be 26 stitches in total now. So after 4 rows, you would add an increase row, and that's how I did mine. So basically, here are the sleeves, and you just want to sew those up. I thought I was recording when I sewed mine, but I guess I wasn't. But you can just sew those up, and that's the bottom little edging that I put on. So I'm just going to show you what I did. So easy. You just add the yarn, and then I skipped 3 stitches, added 3 double crochets, like a double crochet cluster, skipped 3 stitches, added a 3 double crochet cluster, and that just created like a little edging. I was going to do it at the bottom of the top pieces, the 2 fronts and the back, but I ran out of yarn because I only used 2 Caron Simply Soft skeins. So anyway, you skip 3 stitches, add your cluster, and then when you get to the last cluster that you make, you skip 3 stitches and double crochet into that last stitch, and it just makes like a cute little edging to the outside of your sleeve. But you can do what you want. Double crochet into the last stitch, and boom, you're done. And just stitch the sleeve up down the side. I think I showed it in a video before, so you can just go and watch that video if you want to know how to sew your sleeves together. But it's super easy. Just stitch it down the open side. And yeah, so you make 2 sleeves, 2 front pieces, and 1 back piece, and we're going to stitch that whole thing together. Alrighty, so now this is the back portion, and like I said, I used my waist measurement in half, and I times that by my stitch gauge, and then I got 52. So I'm going to chain my 52. If I can get myself together. Alright, chain 52, and then you're just going to go back on that chain of 52 and create however many rows you need. Yeah, and basically the same amount of rows that I did for my 2 front pieces, that's the same amount of rows that I did for my back, just to let you know. So everything will be even. So yeah, you chain however many chains you want to use. And if you need help, just ask me in the comments and I'll definitely help you out with the math. But so I chained 1 or 2. I don't know, guys. Okay, so I chained 1. And then I went into that next chain with the half double crochet. And I went across with half double crochet. And that's what I did for my front. But I think I took it out so many times that I didn't show you guys that. I just want to have like a little foundation row, but it doesn't matter if you do have double crochet, single crochet, or double crochet, just as long as it all matches up and it's even. So anyway, I'm going all the way across this chain, and I'm not going to increase or decrease anywhere. I'm just going to crochet straight up row for row, and I should have 52 stitches at the top. Super duper easy. I don't know why I made this shirt so many times. I think I was changing up the sleeve. I made like bell sleeves twice, and then regular sleeve, and I did like a 3/4 sleeve. Like, it was crazy. But I finally just decided on this to show you guys so I can get the video out, because people kept asking me. So then I chained 3 for each row, and you just go back across however many chains you did, and I did 52 like I said, and bam, you're done. Once you make the appropriate amount of rows. So yeah, when I come back, I will have all of my rows done, and I'm going to show you how to section off the neck part and the sleeve, the shoulder part. So basically I did all the rows that I wanted, and then I am going to I never cut my yarn, I just kept it on, and I chained 3, turn my work, and I'm going to double crochet in the next chain across 14 stitches. And like I said, for each size up, you would chain you would go across about 3 or 4 more, however much your stitch gauge is. So I went across 14, and then I am going to slip stitch across the rest of them, and then double crochet into the next 14. So if you were doing 18, you would double crochet across 18 and mark off 18 on the other side, slip stitch in between, and then double crochet your 18. Or if you were doing 22, you know, and 26. I'm not going to keep going up in numbers because I don't know what your stitch gauge is going to be. But yeah, so now is the part where I'm slip stitching. If I can get myself right, because that's not how you slip stitch. So yeah, I'm going to slip stitch. And I don't know how many I went across. But anyway, I just slip stitched across and then did my 14 on the other side. And that way, when I sewed my front pieces to my back, I can match up the shoulder parts, and it would just be easier for me. And I wouldn't have to count all those stitches and do all of that. And it's already, it kind of shapes your neck hole on the back a little bit. So yeah, I kind of eyeballed that kind of good. Go ahead and start the double crochet across the 14 stitches. Super duper easy. And then you just fasten off after you finish that row. So super easy. I recommend that you guys get at least 3 skeins for if you're making a this size, because I could have did the straps better and put more details on it if I had more yarn, but I definitely wasn't going to go buy this yarn again because I don't really like it. So I'm just reusing it. Anyway, so like I said, you just finish that row, you cut the yarn off, and then move to the next step. You can see how your neck is kind of defined, and the shoulder part is also. So yeah, here is the front piece, and you see how it's easy to connect it when you want to sew it, because you have to sew across to connect both pieces. So yeah, super easy. You would stitch up and down the sides and across the top and leave space for your arm to go through. And of course you don't sew the bottom because it's a wrap top, so it's open. So yeah, it's basically how it should look. Sew across the two shoulder parts, sew down the sides like I said, and leave your little space for your arms open. Super duper easy, and I'll show that a little bit later. Right now I think I'm gonna do like some little straps for the wraparound part. I didn't have enough yarn, so I just I just did whatever. Don't laugh, you guys. You can do whatever you want. You can make it really, really cute and make it super long, but I couldn't really do that because I didn't have enough yarn, and I was trying to make sure I can make the whole top without trying to use a different color yarn. So I just went to the foundation row that I started with, inserted my hook and connected my yarn, and you go ahead and I chain 3 or 4, and then like I did a double crochet next to it into the next space, pulled that yarn to make it tight, and then there's a hole, so I chained 3, and then I yarned over and I did a double crochet into that loop, and I chained 3 again, yarned over, did a double crochet through that loop, and it creates this little chain loop thing. And sometimes I do that like to start off like a top or something like that, but I haven't done it in a really long time. But yeah, I just did that and made it really, really long. And I don't know why this is my go-to when I don't know what to do. So you guys can put whatever you want and make the shirt your own, but this is basically the steps on how to construct a wrap top. You can add your little flair to it and make it super duper cute. So anyway, I did that for both sides. Then I stitched up my sleeves, and I thought I showed you guys, but I didn't. I thought I was recording, but I wasn't. Anyway, so yeah, this is after I have sewed the tops together. I thought I was recording that too, and I didn't. So that's the little slip stitch neck part, and then the other side that is connected at the shoulders. So now I have done one side. I also thought I was showing you that, and I didn't, but I believe I'm going to show you me sewing up part of the next side. And here's what my armhole looks like. And it also matches the amount of stitches that I have around on my sleeve part. So make sure you get your measurements right so your sleeves aren't too big. So basically you're just going to attach your yarn and the needle to your crochet, and then you're just going to do a simple little stitch up across the side, and make sure you leave enough room for your armhole. If you have to measure that on yourself and then measure it on your outfit, go ahead. Or if you need to try it on and just mark it off with a stitch marker, do whatever works for you to make sure that you make your top fit perfectly. That's the most important part. So after that is stitched up, I have my sleeve portion still open, and I'm going to turn my sleeve right side out. I always attach my sleeves like this because it's easier for me, or I'll get messed up and everything will be backwards. So my top is out inside out with the stitches showing, the seams the seam stitches showing, and then I put my sleeve right side out so you can't see the seam where like the raw edge of the seam. And then I'm gonna put my sleeve inside of the wrap top and position it where I want to sew it at. So I'm gonna make sure my armpit side of my sleeve is towards the armpit side of the wrap top. Sorry if my voice is going in and out, guys. I need water, and I didn't bring my bottle in the bathroom, and it's raining, and I don't want you guys to hear all the rain. So anyway, yeah, so go ahead and position everything correctly so you can go ahead and sew your sleeves on. And I think this is the most important part, because the way your sleeves look can make your outfit look really bad or really good. So make sure everything is matched up and in place and it's not sliding around. So I always add a stitch marker. Now, for some reason, my stitch markers disappeared. Like somebody stole them. That's what I'm keep saying. Somebody stole my stitch markers. I can't find them, so I've been using yarn, which works for me anyway, because I always have little scraps of yarn laying around somewhere. So I just put the yarn in to hold it at the top where my shoulder is going to be at, and then I start sewing at the armpit. Because I still have my needle connected from when I was sewing the top up, it's easier for me to do it that way, and I don't have to keep reattaching my yarn. So yeah, I'm just going to start from the armpit, and I'm going to sew all the way around back to the armpit, and then my sleeve will be sewed on, and I'm steps closer to wearing my top. Oh my gosh, my voice is so raspy and it's like giving out on me right now. Excuse me for that. Anyway, I've shown me sewing sleeves on, so you guys should already know how. And I'm pretty sure y'all have your own method on how you like to sew your sleeves together. Yep. So basically, this is how it should look once you sew your sleeve on the outside when it's the right side out. I think I did my stitches a little bit too tight because I was trying to make sure I had enough yarn to sew it together. I didn't have to do it that tight, but it'll loosen up once I wash it and dry it and all of that, or tighten up, whatever. But it was cute, so I liked it. But basically, this is how it looks. After you sew everything together, you have your little wrap top. Just make sure that all of your pieces match in size because you don't want it to look weird. I think I did one of my tops with a 5mm hook, and then I did another top with a 5.5 because I wasn't paying attention. So one side is kind of slightly bigger, but you can't really tell when I wear it. But just make sure you pay attention because I make silly mistakes like that, watching TV and not paying attention, all types of stuff, not writing stuff down. So yeah, here's the top, and I hope you guys make your own wrap top, and I hope it's very, very pretty. If you have Instagram, go ahead and tag me on Instagram so I can see it because I would love to see your creations. Now basically this is optional. I just went around the wrap top starting at the bottom, and I just, because I was amped because I had a little bit of yarn left, so I went around the top, basically doing an edging of like single crochet, or yeah, I think I did single crochet around the top, the neck part, and then down the other top, and it just makes it a little bit more seamless. It doesn't look so raw on the edges. But yeah guys, that's it, and thanks for watching the video. And just let me know down in the comments if you have any questions or comments. And if you haven't followed Chasing Sunrae, go ahead. She posts CIYs every Sunday, I believe. So go ahead and check out some amazing videos from her. And also go over to LittleJohn's Yarns. She posts videos weekly, and her patterns are super duper easy and very cute. So go ahead and watch her. Subscribe to her channel too. And if you guys haven't followed Crafts by Aliyah, she's new on YouTube and she has some cute trendy outfits and she posts all the time, so go ahead and subscribe to her channel, you guys. And last but not least, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and thanks guys. See you in the next video.